Welcome to episode 13, CapEx to OpEx, Financial Shifts, where we explore how cloud computing redefines the economic foundations of information technology. The transition from capital expenditure, large upfront investments in hardware, to operational expenditure, paying for what you use monthly, marks one of the most significant changes in enterprise finance. It is not just a change in accounting categories, it is a shift in mindset, agility, and accountability. Understanding this transformation helps organizations plan budgets, measure return on investment, and communicate value to stakeholders. In this episode, we will unpack how this financial evolution supports innovation while demanding new disciplines of transparency and forecasting.
The move from procurement cycles to on-demand usage eliminates long lead times that once constrained technology planning. Traditionally, infrastructure required months of approval, vendor negotiation, and installation. Costs were fixed before value was proven. With the cloud, provisioning becomes nearly instantaneous. Resources can be created, tested, and retired within hours. This flexibility turns procurement from a date-keeping process into a continuous capability. Teams experiment without waiting for capital approval, aligning expenses directly with progress. Yet freedom requires oversight. Without governance, on-demand can become unplanned. The new model works best when organizations balance agility with clear spending policies.
Variable cost tracking aligns expenses directly with consumption. Unlike capital models where capacity is fixed, the cloud charges for actual resource use. This transparency rewards efficiency but punishes waste. A system left running idly overnight accrues real cost, visible in dashboards within hours. For finance teams, this visibility introduces a new level of precision. Spending correlates with behavior rather than estimates, encouraging continuous optimization. The variable cost structure encourages collaboration between finance, operations, and engineering to monitor trends together. It also transforms budgeting into a living process, adapting dynamically to usage patterns and business rhythm. Commitments provide a counterbalance to variability by introducing predictable savings. Cloud providers offer discounts for reserving capacity over 1 or 3 years. These commitments, sometimes called sustained use or reserved instances, turn flexible pricing into strategic forecasting. By analyzing steady workloads, organizations lock in lower rates while keeping elasticity for volatile tasks. This combination of predictability and adaptability stabilizes long-term planning. Commitments, when managed through proper analytics, become a hedge against market fluctuation. They demonstrate that in the cloud economy, cost control is not achieved by rigidity, but by informed flexibility and data-driven forecasting. Budgets, quotas, and guardrails must precede large-scale adoption. Cloud freedom without boundaries invites overspending and resource sprawl. Financial governance tools allow organizations to set spending caps, usage thresholds, and alerting systems that notify teams before budgets are exceeded. This proactive control replaces manual auditing with real-time accountability. For example, project teams might receive automatic alerts when approaching 80% of budget allocation. These mechanisms build a culture of fiscal responsibility while preserving agility. Properly designed guardrails act as invisible safety rails, guiding teams to innovate confidently without risking financial surprises. Governance becomes the quiet partner of progress. Tagging emerges as a key practice for cost allocation and accountability. By labeling resources with identifiers such as department, project, or environment, organizations can trace every dollar to its source of consumption. This transparency transforms financial conversations from speculation to evidence. Leaders can see which initiatives drive the most cost or return the highest efficiency. For example, analytics workloads tagged by business unit allow proportional budgeting and performance comparison. Tagging also strengthens compliance and audit readiness by linking expenses to approved purposes. In the cloud, visibility equals control, and tagging is the map that reveals where value flows. Forecasting now depends on usage trends and seasonality rather than static budgets. Finance teams analyze historical consumption patterns to anticipate future spend. For example, an e-commerce company might project higher costs during holiday traffic surges and plan accordingly. Machine learning tools embedded in cloud billing systems assist by predicting anomalies or suggesting optimizations.
Forecasting evolves from spreadsheet estimation into dynamic, data-driven modeling. This agility allows businesses to align financial and operational plans continuously. Instead of reconciling variances after the fact, they adjust course midstream, turning finance into a forward-looking partner rather than a reactive auditor. Optimization starts early and remains continuous. Right-sizing, matching resource capacity to workload demand, is the most direct path to savings. Scheduling non-essential systems to shut down during off-hours further refines efficiency. These actions accumulate meaningful impact across large environments. Managed automation tools now identify underutilized resources automatically, turning optimization into routine hygiene rather than a periodic project. Organizations that embed cost review into operational cadence find that savings compound monthly. The principle is simple but powerful. The earlier you embed optimization habits, the less waste becomes cultural, and the more funds remain for innovation. Managed services shift full-time equivalent, or FTE, focus away from infrastructure maintenance toward value creation. When cloud providers handle patching, scaling, and redundancy, internal teams can reallocate effort to business analytics, application design, or customer engagement. This labor rebalancing changes the cost composition of IT departments. Fewer hours are spent on keeping systems running, more devoted to advancing competitive advantage. Over time, the reduced maintenance workload offsets service fees, while productivity gains amplify return. The human capital freed by managed services becomes the true dividend of digital transformation, a reinvestment in creativity and progress. Unit economics provide the lens for measuring cost efficiency at the product level. Instead of tracking abstract infrastructure totals, organizations calculate cost per transaction, per user, or per feature delivered. These metrics reveal which services generate the best return and which need refinement. For instance, a financial app might discover that authentication consumes more compute costs than anticipated and invest in optimization accordingly. Unit economics tie financial analysis directly to customer value. This granular view transforms cost control into continuous improvement, a loop where economic signals guide engineering priorities. Modeling the total cost of migration helps set expectations realistically. Moving workloads to the cloud includes expenses beyond compute and storage, training, redesign, and temporary dual running periods. A complete TCO analysis compares long-term operational savings to short-term transition investment. Successful organizations treat migration as a phased journey, tracking savings milestones rather than immediate payback. Proper modeling avoids disappointment and strengthens executive confidence by showing when and how value will materialize. The cloud's economic promise unfolds over time, rewarding patience, planning, and disciplined follow-through. Communicating savings as reinvestment capacity reframes the financial story of transformation. Instead of highlighting reduced spending alone, leaders emphasize how efficiencies fund innovation. When automation trims costs, those resources support new products, training, or market expansion. This narrative turns cost optimization from austerity into empowerment. Finance becomes an enabler of growth rather than a limiter of ambition. By articulating reinvestment clearly, organizations align all stakeholders, technical, financial, and executive, around a shared vision of sustainable advancement driven by intelligent spending. The evolution from CapEx to OpEx makes finance a strategic partner in innovation. When financial transparency, accountability, and collaboration mature, the cloud ceases to be a budget challenge and becomes a competitive instrument. Finance and technology leaders move in sync, tracking consumption, modeling outcomes, and reinvesting savings in continuous improvement. This partnership defines the modern digital organization, agile, disciplined, and always learning. The true value of the cloud's financial model lies not in lower cost alone, but in its ability to connect money, measurement, and mission into one continuous cycle of progress. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.